Cowboys were 21 down, trying to pull off the comeback. Aubrey from 42 in the win. Aubrey up, and he's got it! The Cowboys win, and maybe Nealon looking down from above.
That is nothing you have not seen before. Brandon Aubrey drilling the 42-yard field goal for the walk-off win for the Cowboys, rallying to tie their largest historic comeback in franchise history. 24 unanswered points for the Dallas Cowboys, and they get the win over the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 12. 24-21 the final. And welcome in to Cowboys Flashback. I'm your host, Nicole Hutchison. We'll be breaking all down the entire show, the good and the bad from that Cowboys win. But it was another week for this offense. It was a George Pickens show, from the one-on-one wins on the boundary, from the contested catches, the explosive yak yardage. He had it all, keeping this offense still breathing, and actually set a career record in receptions. But the real story, how about this Dallas defense that's faced so much scrutiny this entire season? You talk about the first half alone, a lot of self-inflicted wounds from penalties, being gassed, from the offense keeping them on the field. But the second half, they shut out the Philadelphia Eagles, holding them to scoreless on 8 straight drives. I mean, this Matt Eberflus unit, they completely owned the final 30 minutes. And the Cowboys, they kept swinging. This offense had so many opportunities, but a lot of missed chances. But they still kept swinging and kept this offense to come in and get the historic win against Philly.
Yeah, Patrick, it's what we've talked about from the beginning. You know, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. You can't win the game in the first quarter, second, third, but you win the game in the fourth quarter, man. And we just talked about that. We shot ourselves in the foot. I told them that. But I told them believe. You know, believe in each other, believe in the fact we're going to find a way to do it. And I really think today really epitomized a lot of things that those guys have been believing and doing. And it was great to get that win against a damn good football team.
Ed Werder, WFAA. Defense has been justifiably maligned much of the season, but today it seemed like winning started with them going 8 consecutive possessions without allowing a point.
Yeah, incredible, right? I think, you know, you look at the run stats, Ed, I'll start there. I mean, what we were able to do to Saquon, who is arguably the best back in the league, and I think he had 10 for 22 or something like that. But, you know, they just kept playing, man, and, you know, didn't have great pass rush today. I felt that, you know, it looked like Jalen was back there quite a bit, but man, the tackling I thought was really, really good. We did a really good job on third down, and I mean, they're the ones that kind of jump-started us, you know, and we were, of course, able to get the touchdown right at the end of the first half. That was big to cut it to 21-7 and give us a little bit of momentum. But, you know, it's two weeks in a row they've played really, really well, and you can see the confidence in that entire group.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think how you win is just as important as obviously the result, but the important part when you win a game like this, being down 21-0, there's going to be moments when you're down a touchdown. There's going to be moments when you're down maybe 2 touchdowns, and that's not going to be the last time for the season. And when you have a game like this, talking about the belief or knowing that's what this allows guys in that locker room to do is to believe we're going to come back, or know that we have the team, the brotherhood, the connection to do just that. I was just talking to Dave walking in here, and like, I love that. I love being down. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. Now, trust me, it's fun when you're up. You can laugh, you can joke, but when you're down, it requires such a unique place that you have to get to in resilience and focus and taking it one play at a time and just trying to lead the other guys and get them to do the same. And when they do, and you end up winning a game like this, this can be huge for us moving forward, and it will be. And as we talked about all week, getting on a run. This is a hell of a way to get number 2, and we've got to enjoy it tonight, and that's it, and be ready for Thursday.
Dak Prescott, now the franchise's all-time leading passer after that win over Philly, but he's got a Matt Eberflus defense to thank for that. Things are getting a lot brighter on that side of the ball. That's up next here on Cowboys Flashback.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by Reliant. official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
The Cowboys complete the historic comeback over the Philadelphia Eagles, 24-21, the final in AT&T Stadium. Now their 5th win of the season. But if you're looking for the real backbone of this comeback win, how about this Dallas defense, who had a lot of self-inflicted wounds that first half, a lot of penalties, and they were gassed, of course, in that first half, being in bad field position because of this offense. But they tightened up in the second half, right? 28 rushing yards allowed, 112 passing yards, and 0 points. Nothing better than that. And you heard head coach Brian Schottenheimer talking about how they tackled better. They held this and put this Philadelphia Eagles offense in bad, tough third down situations, and also took away a lot of time from Jalen Hurts and made him uncomfortable in the pocket. Not a lot of sacks, but it was the pressures that stood out. 16 total pressures for this Dallas defense, but they were resilient, they were disciplined, and they were dominant when they needed to most.
The constructive criticism that we owned up to in the locker room, to come out in the second half to be able to execute to the best of our ability was amazing to see and amazing to be a part of. So. I think the biggest thing, the defensive line kind of just told each other, man, we got playmakers in our room, and we got to go out here to make plays. In the run game and the pass game, somebody in the defensive line room has to make a play. And then Osa made one of the game-changing plays that he made. A lot of guys in that room made the game-changing plays. So it's super dope to be a part of an amazing group that we have. So
another day for the game that, this isn't golf or tennis, a one-man game, but since they've added you, this defense has completely turned around. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think everybody taking accountability and trying to do things that we can even individually do to win football games, man. You got guys like Overshown coming back. He's playing great football. You got Logan Wilson here. And you got guys in the defensive line room, man, who just been balling and doing the things that they can do to win football games. And I think just we in our stride and it's all coming together. Not like I always say, man, one person can't change nothing around. I can't go out there and do everything on my own. Nobody can. It's a team sport, and I just think we all putting our heads together and executing as one. So
it's amazing, but it's not a 1 week thing. This is what we're gonna do for the rest of the year, and so on. Marshawn is with us. We love you, bro, and we're taking him every step of the way moving forward.
I know there's obviously a lot of difficult games still ahead of your schedule. What can a win do like this to spur you to?
Definitely a confidence builder, just confirming the things that we've been believing and just working towards this whole season, that we have the men in the room for the job.
Since we're never going to have the experience to have a sack like that in a game, can you just take us through the emotions of what that's like to have such a game-changing type play like that?
Man, it's like Mario Mushroom. I feel like grew 10 feet tall. It's amazing to be able to do it in a situation like that. Turn the sideline up and be able to affect the game in such a way.
Obviously, we played with a heavy heart today. Back home, and we had our moment of silence. We showed the tribute to Marshawn, our brother, and it was tough at first, but we knew we had a job to do. And we knew we wanted to play like him and go get this win for him. So.
Was there a moment during this game where you just felt?
Yeah, I would say when we came out the first in the second half, we got 2 straight stops or a couple of stops, and then our offense scored some points or a good drive, and then came back and we got a fumble, recovered it, and then came back again on special teams and got a fumble, and it was like, okay, let's go finish this game out.
Demo had said there was some pretty good messages at halftime from your group. Any that stick out to you?
Yeah, our guys being leaders, guys like Osa, KC, Q. Donovan Wilson and Demo. I mean, that speaks to the character of who we are on that side of the ball, and I'm very appreciative that the fact these guys are my vets. This being my first year, I got guys like that I can look to my right, look to my left, say, okay, let's go do it. It gives us that hope, belief, and that faith.
This Dallas defense channeling their inner Marshawn Kneeland strength. You got to love that, hearing from those guys. But, this defense taking a huge step forward. Quinnen Williams, I love how he always talks about that this sport isn't tennis or it's not golf. Well, since his arrival, the numbers certainly reflect a different story. How about in the last 2 weeks combined, this team on the ground has allowed 90 yards on 30 carries. And in terms of points, which was a team that was giving up the most amount of points in the NFL, well, they've allowed the least amount of points in a 2-week stretch with just 37. So they're continuously learning how to build on top of building, and we'll see how they continued against the Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day. But up next, we got George Teague joining the show to break it all down.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys comeback had everything you could have asked for. A defensive punch-out, special teams fumble recovery, an offense third down lifelines, but it all started on that offense with George Pickens. Welcome back into Cowboys Flashback. Nicole Hutchison, George Teague to break it all down. This offense that struggled down 21-0. They had one guy, numero tres, to help them keep that offense alive and keep stacking drives. Talk about it, George.
Only Espanol I can give you is Jorge, and I am the real Jorge. We got the number 3 out there doing his thing too, right? Because he wanted to become Jorge. He's doing all kind of stuff to shake this world up, and I'm loving it. You try to cover him man-to-man, don't do that, because he has probably about 400 yards now against man-to-man coverage alone. You put him in zone, he's going to run the slants, he's going to get the yards after the catch, right? So in this play I want to show you right away, right, is George Pickens. He is right here. He's going to run what we call a post corner route. So try to get DeJean to jump on that, which he does, and then he heads back outside. All right, so again, when I said you're playing man-to-man, he gives you a nice stick at the top. Uh-oh, now you're in trouble. He's running wide open. Great ball by Dak. Moss, wow. Yes, put it on there. 2 guys jumping up with him. Yeah, that's not a good matchup for you to try to do.
Not at all. 9 catches on 9 targets, 146 receiving yards, and a touchdown. But what I love about George is the fact that when he came in, the coaching staff was like, all right, let's get him warmed up a little bit, get him to work along the line of scrimmage. But now you're seeing him literally work and get production from everywhere along the line of scrimmage, That's right. Running some inside slant routes, outside deep post routes. You line him up anywhere, he's a problem. But you know who else is a problem?
Who's a problem?
Oso Digizua. Now that you have a guy like Quinnen Williams who can come in, take on double teams when necessary, it frees up a lot of opportunities for Osa.
It does, and you're talking about Osa right here in the middle of the defense. So we knew that we could get matchups against their guard, so he's just going to have a bull rush in on this guy and then fall into it. So you get a lot of help, as she said, when you're able to get pressure when you got to double team the other guys. You see that? They're all getting locked up. Osa just manhandles this dude. There's a lot of things that happen on the back end with this one that make that play happen, but when you have guys that can stop the run and get some pass rush, it makes it very, very good for Eberflus.
Yeah, that's a hustle play right there. You know what else we saw? Hustle play, special teams. How about the rookie Elijah Clark, who got beat up actually in his route and ended up making the play?
Well, as a high school coach, we always talk about how do you just do things that heart plays, right? Effort. So you got this down here. You get knocked down. You pop up, get hit, go again. You say, I don't care. I'm going to go make the play. He tracks the ball, and then he rides with a nasty attitude to this guy. Boom, knocks the ball out. You talking about a momentum shift. I told you about me standing up, yelling in the game. This is when I think I text you immediately like, hey, we got to talk about this, because that was an amazing play to set up some more momentum for our team.
Yeah, this was a momentum shift, a momentum builder, so to speak, just because you do have a Chiefs team that is coming in hungry and desperate as well. So on Thanksgiving Day, what are you looking to see out of this team?
Everything that we just had. I mean, we're talking about stacking wins, building momentum. You actually had all 3 phases of the game clicking. Maybe not at the time that you wanted to happen, right at the beginning of the first quarter, but once you got it all going, Schottenheimer talked about it, winning it in the fourth. You get the offense rolling, you get the defense rolling, then you get special teams making the play, then you become unbeatable. So I want to get me one of them big turkey legs on Thursday. And have a Victory Friday.
Okay.
Victory Friday with some turkey.
Hey, you're going to be chomping on some turkey legs. Hopefully the Cowboys are chomping on the Chiefs, get the win on Thanksgiving. And We'll see how this Cowboys offense feels after that win. George Pickens, we hear from Javonte Williams as well up next.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back into Cowboys Flashback. Nicole Hutchison, and at some point, the contract talks will have to be had with George Pickens. You can't overlook things like Sunday evening or really this entire season. 9 catches on 9 targets, 146 yards and a touchdown against the Philadelphia Eagles, but now he has over 1,000 receiving yards. The 5th receiver in the Dallas Cowboys history to have over 1,000 receiving yards in their first 11 games. He was clicking and carried this offense when they needed it most. Also, this motivation this offense needed. Let's hear from George Pickens and the guys post-game.
The catch was crazy. Like I said, tracked the ball, kind of beat the defender. I knew he was going to be running up a little behind, so I knew I was going to have a chance to jump for it. And when I came down with it, I kind of knew as well, like Javonte said, we're going to, because now we're down at the 10.
What was the mood like in the locker room? Because it was crazy after the game.
Yeah, before the game, before we came out, halftime, guys were still just being resilient. We scored. That was 7. So we kind of knew we were only down 2, let alone, some of the inconsistencies they have themselves.
George, on that big play, what's going through your mind when the ball's in the air, when you have 2 guys on?
Definitely come down with the catch. No matter where that's like in the middle of the field, high ball, go ball, post, I'm always looking at the ball, so I'll never see the guys around me.
When you do come down, what then goes through your mind?
Just really everything that I always told people, that what I was capable of.
You were talking to me a little earlier about how that one catch you didn't make, that probably could have changed things.
Yeah, I feel like the catch, I don't know how many series ago it was, but right before we kicked the field goal, I could have caught that, and then I feel like the game would have been way over.
A big game like this,
I feel like with a short week, you kind of want to put it in the forefront, like use the momentum that you have, knowing that KC also seen the game today as well. Everybody around the country did, so just use the momentum and kind of bring that into the next game.
George, I know your confidence has always been high. I mean, is your confidence at another level right now? They're back-to-back 144-yard games. Where are you right now?
Really just grinding. This kind of always, honestly, like what I was capable of. I used to have 100 games in college all the time, but just definitely as a team, just keep going, because I've also seen the downs of it as well. So just keep going and get as many wins as we can.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was still upbeat. I mean, the defense played lights out, so that was a boost for us. And we know the offense is going to get right sooner or later. So, I mean, we weren't too worried about it. We knew it was in the hole, and we had to get out of it against a very good team. So we knew we had some work to put in, but it wasn't too much.
Was there one play that made you guys say, oh, we got this, we're back in it?
Yeah, I think it was that deep pass to CD on the sideline. I feel like that really turned us up, and then we just started scoring.
Were you surprised the way Dak dove into the end zone for his touchdown?
Nah, Dak got that dog in him, so I know he's going to do whatever he got to do to score the touchdown, but I'm just glad he was all right. Look like he landed on his neck, though.
Yeah. George keeps having highlight catches, contested catches. Does he ever surprise you anymore with this ability?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a surprise. I just like when I see Dak throw the ball his way, I know he's finna do something crazy, but I mean, it's just a testament to his hard work and his God-given talent. I mean, he got stuff that you can't coach.
How much of a game changer is that when you have that guy in your offense?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I feel like we got 3 or 4 of those type of players on offense. And just having all those players, whoever turn is to make a play, you just got to make the play with a number called.
And what about Brandon Alvarez getting ready to step up? That confidence level, where's that out to this team that he's going to come through in that moment when you play?
Yeah, once we got past the 50, we started dapping each other up. We kind of knew, he's going to make the field goal regardless.
Javonte Williams talking about the hole that this team was in thanks to those penalties, those crucial drops, those missed opportunities from the defense giving this offense some life. I mean, it was all there until this offense was able to get the ball rolling through George Pickens and Javonte Williams. And Williams, 20 carries, 87 yards, averaging over 4 yards per carry. This run game finally working the way that it needed to work. But there's some plays they obviously probably want to take back, like that 4th and 3 at the 50, the 4th and goal, of course, when Fergie was short of the goal line. It's a lot of things good to take away and how they turned the page. That's up next. Stick with us.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys win over Philly. It was a win that meant a lot to the Dallas Cowboys, and they showed the type of resiliency you need, especially against a Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see if the Cowboys can carry that momentum over on Thanksgiving Day.